Hello and welcome everyone to the probably the official start to season 2 for Pulse of the Heartland here. So we finally made it through, guys. We had our few little pods in between, but now we're finally back to our to the meat and potatoes of this pod, NFL football here.
Woo!
Hell yeah!
Wow,
About time.
I'm glad I'm excited. Jeez.
Oh shit! So I'd say, well, we do appreciate everyone that is going to join in here. Joey, do you want to start with the socials real quick before we get started?
As I'm posting on Twitter right now, Twitter and Instagram at Heartland Pulse, and then just on YouTube and Facebook, just search Pulse of the Heartland. Like, subscribe, let us know what you're thinking, and just follow along. It's going to be a hell of a year, guys.
Yeah, we do. We do have a lot of stuff that is coming down the pipeline here. I guess right now the preliminary plan for the NFL games, or I'm sorry, for the NFL season, once we do start into it, is kind of do it on Mondays. Last year we were doing on Tuesday recordings. We really didn't have a lot of the, I guess, up-to-date information. You know, we're making picks on Tuesday evening, and the odds are completely shifting by the time the games are coming on Sunday. So I think we're going to do a little bit more closer to the actual games. And then if we do the Monday pod, break it down, you know, while we're watching Monday Night Football. So I would say we're kind of looking into that. One of the big kind of, I guess, projects that we're going to start doing is, and this is kind of, I can't remember if it was Ryan or Joey or combination of people, is kind of a big project. Their child is going to be what we call the Road to 272 here. So Ryan, do you want to break that down a little bit?
So yeah, I kind of stole this idea from somebody on Twitter that I follow, Ian McMillan or something like that. He works for BetSighted, and he did this the last 2 years, and I've been following around. Basically, bet on every single game, whether it's the spread, whether it's over under. You can bet on really whatever you want as long as you bet on that game. 272 games between weeks 1 and 18, and you bet we're going to have a bet for every single one of those. So that we are planning. I think most of you guys are planning on being part of that, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, we'll try to record probably late Wednesday. That's not going to be a YouTube live thing. That's just something we'll record. We will have it posted on YouTube. We'll also have it posted as a pod too. But I've spent a lot of time working on spreadsheets and stuff like that, trying to get as much info as possible so we can hammer the bookies this year. So looking forward to that. Yeah.
I have a question concerning that. Is sports betting live in Missouri yet, Joey?
God, no. Thanks, Clark.
So, yeah, Kansas is finally getting sports betting. It's supposed to, businesses are in the processes of getting their licenses from the state. So, like BetMGM, FanDuel, DraftKings are all currently getting licensed in the state of Kansas. The governor said that sports betting should be live by tomorrow, September 1st. So
nice.
We'll see how it starts rolling.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous of you guys that can do mobile, just because I have to go up to Deadwood every weekend to do it, which I guess I shouldn't complain. That's a 15-minute drive, so it's not that bad. But I'm very jealous of you guys that have mobile. Thanks.
Yeah, that's my plan, is to drive to Larchwood every week. At least I have to drive to a different state, but it's probably closer for me to drive to Larchwood than you to drive to Deadwood. So
how long?
Yeah, like I said, it's about 15 minutes or so.
How long does it take you to get to two different states from where you're at, Trent?
Less than 10 minutes.
Nice.
Minnesota and Iowa, right to the east.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I've decided that I'm going to bet money line every game just to see how many I can get right in a year. Just have money on it.
Yeah, and so that was my other question. It's any bet for any game, right? Like we can do prop bet, we're just betting something on every game, correct?
I mean, I'm kind of doing like the main bets, whether it's the spread or the over/under, but feel free to do whatever. I'm not going to put any rules on you guys other than you just have to have a bet in a game.
Okay. And are we doing a minimum money on that?
Right away, I'm not a rich man, so I'm going to do whatever minimum is in Deadwood.
I've decided I'm going to
go from there.
Like I said, I'm doing money line and I'm doing $5 on every bet. So first week it'll be $80. Shouldn't be that much week 2 unless I get every game wrong, which could happen.
Be
Which could
rich.
happen.
Nuke Med pays well. Jesus. I was gonna do $2.
It's half my paycheck, man.
Yeah.
I'll be
I'll have to
honest.
pick
I was
up
just
another
going to go for the.
couple call shifts.
I was just going to go by the spirit of the game. I actually wasn't even going to put in real bets, but if you guys are, I might have to start looking into that a little bit. Jesus. Well, I mean, thank you, Biden. Now I have $10,000 more in my pocket. I guess I will be able to start betting here. That's what. Thank you for paying it off. I'm immediately going to start gambling. That is every boomer's fucking nightmare right now.
You're just feeding the economy, Brian. You're just doing your
Yep.
part.
I'm
Thanks.
trying to help
Exactly.
these. I'm trying to help these lowly sports books, like have you heard of Caesars and like BetMGM? Have you ever heard of those guys?
Peasants.
I heard they're hurting, you know.
Yeah,
Struggling
small,
hotels in Las Vegas.
these small indie companies.
It's ridiculous how much money they're putting into it, just trying to get that first hook in somebody in Kansas. Like I see ads multiple times a day, hear them on the radio multiple times a day for BetMGM, FanDuel, DraftKings. It's ridiculous. Like those are the only ads I see nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Every freaking commercial break. Be ready during college football and NFL. We've kind of gotten out of that betting a little bit, or I've stopped watching sports for a little bit because of only baseball being on. Yeah, it's going to be Caesars. I'm going to see fucking JB Smoove 18 times a fucking day on Saturday and Sunday now. It's going to be real fun.
Hey,
And
he's
up
on
in- up
like.
in-
Go ahead.
Up in Deadwood, Mountain Grand is one of the big casinos, and they've got Chad Greenway promoting betting up there. So, yeah, commercials running pretty regularly of him drinking his Grey Goose or Duck Goose vodka at the casino.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nice. So thanks for bringing up baseball, Jake. What I was going to say was at least during those MGM commercials, at least part of baseball is entertaining.
True. Yeah. The commercials would be the most fun of baseball. That's for fucking sure.
Yep. Exactly.
Has DraftKings or anybody landed Calvin Ridley as a promo for their product yet?
He'll at least be a promo code. Would it be?
Well, I mean,
or would it be? Go ahead.
He got a full year for a $1,500 parlay. He didn't lose, or he didn't win, and then I mean that's better than sexually assaulting 24 women, I guess. So, according to the NFL,
According to the NFL, it's not.
right? That's what I meant. It's not as good. My bad.
There we go. So, but I'm saying, so we can just kind of get to the actual football talk here. The only other thing we were going to say is just we've been kind of doing the college football pod. We're going to continue doing that as well, probably live. It was kind of fun last week having a few people jump in, chime in, kind of joined in the conversation. And we were talking. I mean, somehow we ended up talking about Todd Reesing. We talked about Brad Smith from Mizzou. It kind of went off the rails, but it was really fun. So, and we'll try and do some more fun casts. We got a new Kevin Smith movie we can break down. We might do a few fun casts like that as well. So,
I'm out.
but I guess and say starting from the top here, Trent. What you drinking?
Going with the Grain Belt Northeast again. I was drinking
Nice.
that on the college football pod, the week 0 pod last week. So
Hell
had
yeah.
another one in the fridge. So that's what I got.
Clark, what about you?
I got me one of them Patrick Mahomes Coors Lights. This is the 2021 summer edition.
2021.
2021.
Is this leftover wedding beer?
Still working on the wedding beers, yes.
Oh my!
Holy shit!
The fridge is getting low. I'm getting there. I might be done with it by the end of the podcast or season 2. So we'll work on it.
Oh man,
Ryan, you?
I'm going with the Pendleton Rye tonight. Also representing in my 605 Whiskey Society glass too. So
Ooh.
yeah, fancy.
Nice.
And there's River making his first appearance.
What up, Riv?
Wouldn't be a pulse pod without someone's dog or baby making a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah, you haven't gotten the baby yet.
Joey, how about yourself?
Just some high quality H2O, baby.
Oh, gonna be a nerd like that?
Yeah, I'm sitting in the middle of Corpus Christi, Texas, and I didn't go get beer tonight. I just didn't. I don't know why. My bad. I'll have something for the college football one tomorrow night.
It's a miracle Joey's with us from his internet situation yesterday.
Yeah, I was barely getting 1 megabyte, if that, and today somehow I'm at 70. So whatever. Knock on wood, it stays this way.
Bryant,
Well,
what you
I know.
sipping on?
I know it's it was to the delight of Joey when I sent it to the group chat here, but we got another Barntown Classic
Hell
Pickle
yes.
Tickle pickle beer, and I have not had it, so let me. Sounds pretty. Oh my god! No, I'm sorry. It. Oh my god, that's got a really big.
That
pickle
first
after.
face, I thought you were about to retch like I did whenever you brought it on screen.
Usually, it's kind of like, okay, this is beer and a little pickle. It was a very heavy pickle smell there on that one. That's actually pretty good. Shit. I don't know how healthy it is compared to like you're supposed to eat pickles after you work out and stuff with the potassium, isn't it? Joey? And Joey drinking out of his Clausen's jar, the classy man.
Joey's got a true pickle.
But the good thing is you chose the right brand of pickle. Clausen's is top notch. I had a couple buddies. I used to be, just get the bottom shelf. All pickles taste the same and shit. Once you get Clausen's that are always refrigerated, yeah, that is the way to go, dude.
What about Vlasic?
I do like Vlasics. They are crisp, but if I'm going full size pickle, I'm gonna go with the Mount Olive. They're drippy and good, and yeah, I like them.
Hey, can I interrupt? Can I interrupt to ask the Iowa State fans something? Alan Lazard is the #1 receiver for Green Bay, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't act like you're not surprised.
It's the 7th round of my 14-person league, and I'm about to draft him.
Do it, dude. I would have taken him way earlier if I were you. Just saying.
But then you're just always slightly rooting for Green Bay if you take him, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
If Rodgers succeeds.
We can't do a draft on the pod because no one wants to hear us talk about our fantasy teams. And fucking Ryan.
Sorry, I just had to rub it in. I just had to rub it into the Iowa State, or just ask about it.
I mean,
you're setting yourself up for success.
And I see Jacob's message about the golfing. I want to our next golf pod. Can we interview you about this one hole, because that's golf, baby.
Yeah, smoked a 290-yard drive on the fringe on a short par 4, chipped and 3-putted. That is a chef's kiss of just golf encapsulated.
Confirmed by Struggle for Par podcast. Jacob Woody to the live.
Yeah, exactly. With that type of hitting, you're only going to make $120,000 in your first tournament. So if you can live off that, I guess good luck.
I'd do it.
So, but let's jump into it, guys. I would say we've kind of BS'd a little bit, and we'll, again, it's not like this is everything we're going to be doing. We'll post more on our socials once we actually have a more set schedule as well. But yeah, I mean, kind of been busy in the NFL the last few days. Finally jumped into the final cuts, and all the teams have their 53-man roster set. I guess. How are we all feeling on our team so far? Any surprises? Are we happy about how it went?
Well, how about the fact that the Vikings traded for Jalen Reagor today with
I saw that
6th round pick, basically. So we go from the Vikings laughing their asses off because Philly took him one pick ahead of Justin Jefferson, and now he's on our team. So
on that note, the people laughing their asses off are no longer employed by the Vikings, though. So
yeah, but they got the Justin Jefferson pick right.
They did get that one right, but I'm curious to see how Reagor performs in the Viking system.
I'm hoping they can actually do something with him, because Philly has a running back as their quarterback. So hopefully with an actual passer, he can succeed. We needed a punt returner anyway, so I think that's going to be the main thing. But yeah, maybe he can actually come along.
He's going to give him some good depth at wide receiver, because beyond Jefferson and Thielen, who else they got?
KJ Osborne. They said has been looking
better really than almost as good as Jefferson. Yeah, he's had days where he looks better than Thielen and Jefferson. Yeah.
So that's how we're feeling over here. Super Bowl.
Joey, how about the Falcons? What the hell they do?
I don't know. Mariota's still the quarterback, so I'm not going to pay attention until Kyle Pitts puts up 1,500 yards. So I think, to be honest with you, if I had to do a bold prediction for the season, I think Kyle Pitts has a great season because there's no other wide receivers. Mariota is going to scramble and try short. So Kyle Pitts should have a great season as far as statistical. But yeah, like I said before, I am pissed that Mariota's there because he's good enough that we're going to win 4 or 5 games and get out of that number 1 spot. So, yeah, that's where
Hopefully Kyle Pitts is ready to get tackled that many times then.
Yeah. So, I mean, he is very durable. He didn't get injured at all last year. So I'm pumped about that. I think Kyle Pitts is, if I'm doing a bold prediction, top 3 tight end in the league this year.
Behind these two?
I was going to say, tell us a little bit about your chalkboard, Clark.
So behind me, I've got a board ready to keep running stats, the most important of stats, on a couple of men that we often argue about who is the number 1 in the respective position of tight end. I've got the reigning
George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson.
The pinnacle of the position listed, Travis Kelce. Beside him, I've got one man who he might play 3 or 4 paper, Kittle. All right, so
because he blocks.
His bones are made of
Dude's
glass.
never healthy. He's never healthy. Should I leave like a games injured stat line here for that? I mean, we can average it out.
When their stats are exactly the same at the end of the year, and Kittle's played half the games, I mean that's fine.
Yeah, that's why you pay him big money to play half the games, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and he's got as good a stats as Kelce. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. just make a big white box with a little red medical cross in there. That'll be just a 0 next to Kelce and an 8 next to Kittle there. So
I got to feel I'm gonna have to throw me some breakfast food on here too for some pancakes.
Hey Clark, just to round out the group, can you also add Irv Smith up there to see his 1 or 2 games he actually plays this year?
Well, I'm gonna have to get a bigger board at this rate.
He needs the ambulance emoji up there too. So
yes,
okay,
perfect. So, but I was looking at the Chiefs roster when they got through the 53-man down to the final cuts, and I know he was critical to our Super Bowl win, but I was so happy to see there were so many just liabilities on defense that we got rid of and replaced. Like, I mean, Dirty Dan was the one that we were just thinking last year. How many times did he get burnt on so many big, huge plays at the beginning of the year? He's short up at the end, but I mean, he's gone. I think it was Neiman is gone as well. I mean, they've done a lot of replacements, and same thing with the offense. Now that Tyreek's not there, it's a lot of new faces on offense, and I'm feeling pretty good about it right now.
That was my main note here for the Chiefs' final 53-man rosters. There are a lot of new faces on that defense and in the wide receiver rooms. We got 1 returning wide receiver, and then deep backs. We got back, but then they've got young guys, McDuffie, Cook, just a lot of new faces. So I'm really curious to see how they perform.
I was a little disappointed they got rid of Josh Gordon and Corey Coleman. Though they got a couple big bodies there, but I just think in Reed's system, having those smaller wide receivers, you saw Tyreek thrive, you saw Mecole, you saw all these small guys being able to make a difference. I think getting rid of those bigger guys as well, it's going to be, you can kind of mix and match with who you're putting out there.
Yeah. And I think one of the most noticeable faces not returning on that defensive side of the ball is the Honey Badger. So they didn't sign him back. He went free agent. I don't think is he on a roster anywhere? I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah, New Orleans, yeah.
Oh, okay. He went down.
That's why they just got rid of. That's why they just got rid of Gardner Johnson this week, and then he got signed by the Eagles. Yeah.
Man, I hadn't even heard that one. Like, it was big when he left, but I hadn't yet to hear it in a headline anywhere since. So, but that defensive side is going to be the reins are being taken over by Justin Reed. They got him coming out of Houston. They love to take safeties from Houston, and they perform well. Young guy, loves to hit hard, and he's just taking that captain spot, the real vocal leader.
Andy's going to be kicking, I hear. Did you see all those highlights in
Yeah.
the offseason where he's kicking like 50-yard field goals?
So he used to play soccer. He's got a natural kick. He's been out there hitting bombs. In the preseason games, he was kicking extra points. And Juan Thornhill, his counterpart at safety, is holding for him. It's fun to see that chemistry just come alive.
Well, in case you have to get rid of a special teamer, it feels good to have the backup.
That's right.
Well, that's just it. They could have one more other position player get rid of Butker.
Yeah.
Oh, can't get rid of buttkicker.com. Come on.
That's right.
How overall the defense? How are you guys feeling about it for Casey?
I think they'll be better.
Yeah.
I know the beginning of the season last year was a little rough.
I think their cornerbacks are better. Juan Thornhill's healthy. You don't have the liability of Dirty Dan back there trying to cover that nickel position. So I think they're going to be far better. Frank Clark has come back in better shape. He knows that he did not perform last year, and he came back this year for redemption. So
and he's got that incentive-based contract too. So.
Yeah, they redid his contract, give him more incentives to perform, and he's buying into it. He's all about it. So,
one funny thing with the Vikings is what was the last year Zimmer and Spielman did their draft? Was it 2021? It must have been.
2021, yes.
Basically, they had, I think, 12 or like a record 12 or 13 picks that year. I think we have 2 people that are still on the roster from that draft.
You and I must have read the same article because I was going to mention that too. It's like Kene Nwangu from Iowa State is one of them. And then
Darisaw.
Out of like 12 draft picks, 2 of them are left on the roster. Like they just cleaned house from that draft.
Yeah, like that might be the worst draft I've ever seen before.
Yep.
And the funny thing is how many years did they try to get an interior lineman for them? I mean, it seems like every year they use the second or third pick to try to get an interior lineman. First season with Quessy and Coach Cock, we've got a rookie interior lineman starting from LSU. So it's a lot of positive things I've seen so far. I'm excited.
So you guys brought up about clearing house and stuff. I know you guys probably don't keep up with the Raiders at all, but they just got rid of Leatherwood on their team, and they have gotten rid of like basically everyone under the Gundy administration. They just, I mean, literally cleaned house. I mean, they got rid of a first-round pick from 2 years ago. That's actually so Raiders. It makes sense, but to anyone that's not that team, that's very perplexing.
Yeah.
Everyone but Derek Carr, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Raiders are the worst when it comes to drafting. The worst.
Hold on. You could have just ended it worse. They're just the worst. End of statement.
So according to the NFL's top 100 players, they actually have 5 on their roster, which beats all of our teams. Just FYI. Chiefs have 3, Vikings have 3, and the Falcons have 2.
How many do the Dolphins have?
3.
Sorry,
Yep.
I just heard all offseason about how accurate Tua is. I thought he'd be number 1.
Yeah, Chargers lead with 8, and the Niners have 7, followed by the Rams and Cowboys, Bucks at 6.
I wish they would do that list at the end of the season so we can see how bad they are predicting the NFL top 100.
Yeah, I wish they would take that list and put it up against like the end of the season list. I wonder if they did that. I should look for 2021. I'll jump on that. You guys keep talking.
That would be definitely interesting. Like 2 things. I think it would be fun to see here's the number 1 player stat line. Just see the stat lines first, and then have the end of year draft and just see like the well, I guess unfortunately the only place I know it is like on Pornhub. There's rankings on where the stars are at. I want to see the end of the year plus 100 because they were unranked at the beginning of the year and they pulled a Mia Khalifa and they jumped to the top of the ranking. That's what I want to see. That's the collab we're all looking for, right? The Pornhub NFL collab. They got the infrastructure already. Just change the coloring a little bit. The NFL, they're red, white, and blue. Just change the black and orange. They don't need to hardly change the websites. A few pictures, but
Oh, it's funny.
I was always confused on the decline of Madison Ivy and how it happened so fast. She was like number 1 for a while. She's not even in the top 100 at this point, so it's pretty damn crazy.
I do think it's funny those rankings go to like 2,500. It's like, just get me off the list if I'm not in the top 100. That should be a coveted thought.
Sometimes I'll just get a random thumbnail and it'll be just a great ass, and it's like she's ranked 999. I'm like, how?
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta ask: is that ranking system peer voted just like the NFL top 100, or how does this work?
I mean, I'm sure they don't get discouraged from voting. So
it's a list for the stars by the stars trend. No, I don't know. It's probably
just like the NFL top 100
thing.
So now we know who the one in this group isn't married or has a kid.
Mm-hmm. And you know the 4 that are jealous. That's
which one has time on his hand, literally.
Yeah, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just trying to figure out how well this system works. It was like, God, that's a lot to maintain with being able to move these rankings back and forth. I mean, it puts every PPR league and fantasy football league to shame with how deep they go into. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. With how in depth the rankings go.
Mm-hmm.
That probably is taken into consideration with their rankings too, I suppose.
Yeah,
and there's our soundbite for the week. Thanks, everyone.
It's all in the algorithm.
We'll definitely clip that and put it out there. Oh fuck! So, I would say I know you put on here. I guess like most anticipated matchups and stuff. I guess, is there any of them right now? Just starting off the season that you're most looking forward to?
Week 1. Vikings Packers week 1.
Yeah. Right off the bat, what are we gonna do off the bat with our new offense and defense?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing so much talk about Coach Cock. We need to see what this man's all about week 1. And honestly, you might as well get that game out of the way, because I think if the Packers are going to be tough, you might as well get them first thing in the season when they might not be, they might not be in their groove at that point. Catch them first thing.
Yeah. Well, I saw just in the last couple of days they're floating around wide receivers, so they still don't have their wide receiver room figured out. That's got to be one of the worst in the league, in my opinion.
For the Packers,
they've got one figured out.
They've got one figured out, basically.
Who's behind Alan Lazard?
The old lot lizard for the win, baby.
So
that should be a great game. That's a Saturday afternoon game. Should be a lot of fun.
Is Randall Cobb still on?
He is. Yeah, I think that's
he came back. He came back from the Cowboys, I think.
That's what I'm like. Nothing against Randall Cobb, but when he's the number 2, that's like, yeah.
I mean, like we were just talking.
You
about
said it was a Saturday afternoon game
or Sunday afternoon. Did I say Saturday?
Okay,
no, Sunday
you
afternoon.
did. I was like,
you did.
What?
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
People aren't perfect,
Vikings
Joey.
week 1 is also afternoon game, not noon, not prime time.
Who's the Falcons got for week 1?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? God, Joey's
I just know they played the Browns on October 2nd. I'll be at that game. I don't know about the Falcons schedule at all.
You're gonna miss Deshaun.
I know.
Good.
So that's the number 1 game I was looking forward to, is week 12 when he goes to Houston and see if he gets assassinated. I really hope he does.
Jeez.
We're starting
Falcons,
off with a bang. Bills and Rams Thursday night.
Yeah.
Falcons play the Saints on September 11th.
Yes, that's week 1.
So a game that I have noted would be the best game from last year, which was Chiefs versus Bills. It's in week 6. Why is it not primetime? It's also in the afternoon slot when everybody's taking their post-lunch nap. I mean, come on.
It could get flexed into Sunday Night Football, couldn't it?
I don't think that early they can flex it. I think it's like week 11 or 12 when that kicks in, when they can.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I heard about that earlier this summer, and I Joey or one of you guys might be able to speak on it, but I'm pretty sure like they preset it. Like I think for example, I think the Browns Texans, like that's the first week since it's week 12 that they can flex into a primetime position, or what they should is flex off of TV in general. But
When they flex into prime time, is that to Amazon Prime, which is now showing NFL games?
Probably.
With their new football?
Thursday Night Football is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Prime Video.
So just, saying week 12 with that team, just what everybody wants flex to Sunday Night Football is going to be the 3-8 Browns and the 2-9 Texans. Going to be great.
Hey, Brissett might have him going, but I honestly hope the Browns start 9-2 and they go, why do we need to start Deshaun at this point? Just keep riding Brissett at that point.
But how bad was Brissett with the Dolphins last year? I don't see him being good with the Browns.
When you pay somebody that much money, you play them unless they're injured.
Yeah. Unless it's like 12-0 MVP season, yeah, they're going to switch, or 11-0 at that point. They're going to switch it up. They're paying this kid $240 million. They're going to make it happen.
So speaking on contracts, anybody else see Twitter from one who's been on the look for a new contract here, Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I saw he posted himself in a Dolphins jersey. Yeah.
He's his own agent. Him and his mother are their agents. And there was somebody on Twitter said something about, come on, Ravens, give the guy his contract or give him a contract before you cash a check you can't pay. Like if Lamar Jackson has a great season, his price tag is going to be astronomical. So I think that's what they're referring to. And then somebody followed that up saying they already offered him $250 million. Why is he not taking it? To which Lamar Jackson replied to that tweet saying, no, they didn't. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I love that he's representing himself and is speaking out on social media when people are flying rumors. So.
And because everything we've heard about for so long is all these NFL players, they're not as financially literate as they want them to, or they're worried about it. That's the prime example. Having a guy that's, if I'm going to compliment Lamar Jackson, having that leadership going, hey, I'm representing myself. I'm not paying someone else to just haggle numbers and then he gets a percent of me actually balling out over here. So hopefully more players take that into account. I almost wonder if these players, like I would almost assume like an LSU or all these SEC schools, why do they not mandate these football players, especially the ones that are like most likely going to, get drafted? I wonder if they have a class either in negotiating or being able to work those types of terms out. Because you're going to get your degree in communication. They're not going to use it. The whole point was to get to the NFL, why they went to school. Most of them, I'm going to say. But I wonder if they try to implement that and almost, like in Ohio State, hey, you're coming here, or a lineman at Iowa, hey, you're coming here to try and get to the NFL. We're gonna prep you on the field, and we're also gonna prep you off the field in case you do get into these opportunities.
It'd be just like in high school if they taught people how to balance checkbooks and sign up for retirement and do all that type of stuff. It'd be smart, but no, why would they do that?
Why would we do that?
Exactly.
Yeah, let's just have
it makes too much sense, Joey. Why would we do that?
They got instead of like big pharma, they got big agencies that are just suppressing the schools, not letting them. Where they're going to lose their jobs if they don't let them do it. So I don't know, but good on him. He doesn't have to pay anyone a fee. That money goes to straight him and his family, generational wealth. But
I really hope it just doesn't handicap him, because I believe there are some rules about negotiations, especially if he's going free agents, as far as other teams being able to reach out to him before his contract's up. So whereas with an agent, they can talk to other teams, but Lamar cannot.
I guess
so
that's
if he's
probably
representing
why he's
himself
mother involved, right? So she can be the voice.
Maybe, yeah. That's just something I'd heard. as far as I think Orlando Brown's representing himself on the Chiefs, so that was one of their concerns about getting his contract figured out before the season. So
Yeah,
Wasn't Richard Sherman kind of the first one to go and be his own agent?
he was one of the first. He was early. Yeah.
I think he's the most prominent. I almost have to guarantee there's been some before that, but I know that was the one. It was always he went to Stanford. He's a smart guy. He's his own agent, stuff like that. Which he had a hell of a career himself too. So again, hopefully more players take that route here. But I was looking at just go the only I hadn't got my pick for a game that I was looking forward to. I got another one for week 1. It's the opening game. It's Bills at Rams, which I think a lot of people would assume that might be a Super Bowl matchup to start the season here. So it'll be interesting to see how the Rams have been able to reload from last year, if they're going to be able to, take the next step now that they have the target on their back, being able to hold people off, and then the Bills, out for a vengeance after last year, 13 seconds away from going to the AFC Championship and then pissing it down their legs. So I think that's my most anticipated right now. I don't want to jump into week 11 when half these players might be injured or the team might have a losing record. So I'm looking forward to that one.
And with that one too, it's Von Miller's homecoming from his storied long career that he had in LA. So
they wrote gigantic books on it.
Yep,
Mini
exactly.
chapters.
Didn't they sign him right before the trade deadline or some shit last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just a man who was at the right place at the right time.
Right. Good for him, man.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I'm just curious to see if Aaron Donald can surpass his own ability and maybe wield 3 helmets against somebody. That's what I'm looking to see.
Once you get
How
past
pissed are you if you're Myles Garrett?
Miles Garrett's sitting at home thinking, come on, like I only swung one helmet, caved in Mason Rudolph's skull, and I get how many games?
Aaron Donald's out here swinging 2 of them at somebody and gets nothing because it's during a practice. All right, so we're gonna drop penalties for off-field, actions, domestic disputes, stuff like that. And then we have penalties for during game, but practice is that safe haven. If you really want to take somebody's head off, that's when you got to do it, I guess.
You have to think, though.
You're talking about practice?
You have to think, though. It's not like Aaron Donald has a history of violence, like choking people or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, that was during practice. It doesn't count, Ryan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't read the fine print.
The dude trains with knives. Of course he's scary.
Yeah.
He's out there dual wielding energy swords from Halo. He's fine.
That is one big man. That is a
Somebody
superhero
Photoshop that
right there.
quick.
Aaron Donald with an energy sword.
Yeah,
Is that
two
what you
energy
want?
swords.
Give me a second. It took me 20 minutes to make my first meme tonight. I don't know how long that's going to take, but maybe the podcast.
He'll have it to you by next week. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
week 2.
I did love all the edits of him. It was Aaron Donald with the two helmets, and they edited the Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones. Just a bunch of horses
Yes.
standing at him, ready to go. That was probably my favorite one of it. But yeah, I mean, we all know why it wasn't fucking. There's no if that was any other player, not Aaron Donald, they would have been suspended at least a game. But you can't have the face of the MVP of the Super Bowl, one of the faces of the NFL, be suspended in your primetime first game and have to explain that one.
You got to think, if that's not Aaron Donald, if it's anybody, you say suspended, that dude's automatic. He's immediately cut.
Yeah.
Did it say who he swung at? I never saw who it was that he swung at.
The entire 53-man roster from the other team, it looked like.
No, because if it was Joe Burrow, I think there would have been problems, but it must not have been Joey.
Yeah, it was.
Might be
I know it
right.
was the Bengals, and the funny thing is, like, who could have seen that coming? A feisty practice after one team, after these teams played in the Super Bowl, highly contentious. Who would have thought there had ever been a problem in a joint practice in the offseason?
I was thinking about that too. You don't see this in games very often, maybe once or twice a season where there's a giant brawl. It seems like every joint practice in preseason, there's a fight like this. It's like there must be so much pent up energy. Like they're just ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Which I can't blame them. You're all fighting for your job at this point. Yeah, a guy jaw-jacking across you, probably doing something dirty to try and get the one up on you, and then you're just gonna fucking go bananas out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know there were a couple of fights in Minnesota, and they called practice off early. I think at one point, they threw Justin Jefferson on the ground really hard, and Adam Thielen went and had a problem with that. So, I mean, you can't. Why are you trying to take out star players? That's pretty bull crap. But
should just do what Andy Reid does. Do a joint practice.
Do they not do that?
No, they don't.
Yeah,
I mean, it's smart.
I would say at this point, the NFL has almost got to look at this offseason because, I remember, I know at least off the top of my head there's 3, but there's probably, 4 or 5, or at least with smaller squabbles. Just get rid of joint practice if that's what it's going to amount to, or have maybe even your set roster and have a couple. But I do get it. Like, you want that live experience from not people on your own team, but if people are going to, once there's the first serious injury, that's when they'll stop. But until then, it's just going to be a couple of helmets swung, but the other guy had helmet on too. So, but I wouldn't say I guess not really the last thing. We'll kind of riff off of it, but we talked about the MVP and kind of Super Bowl predictions. I guess Trainer, who has the hottest picks for that? Who wants to start?
My.
Four
not
people.
I'll take it all because he's going to win it. It's a guarantee. Put money on that.
All right. I'm gonna go with somebody that's gonna rile up a few of you people, and it's gonna be Joe Burrow.
Boo.
I like it.
Yeah,
he's got a better line. Like his offensive line last year sucked.
He got a better line than who?
Than what he had last year.
And what he had. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully his line stays healthy.
Well, like I said, like last year, his line was terrible. You could put 3 tackling dummies and me out there, and I'm protecting Joe Burrow better. Like,
and they're getting an indoor practice facility. So,
there you go.
That
means they're going to be softer because they ain't having to, work in those elements that they got to play in. So,
there you go. Ryan, how about you? Are you going homer on this one, or are you thinking?
I am. I already said, was it 2 pods ago when I was last on? I have money on Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson for MVP. I think it's going to be one of those 2 guys.
What if they're co-MVPs? Do you get triple the money?
That'd be sweet. I don't see why not.
That.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I just think they had a great offense last year already, and Jefferson already 2 great seasons. Now we have an offense that's pass first. It's not run first anymore. So I think there can be a huge year this year for him.
I've got a question for you. Yeah. Do you think Justin Jefferson can really win MVP if Kirk Cousins is his quarterback for the entire year?
That's tough, but I think at one point you kind of have to look at it as a somewhat popularity contest too. Who's going to get more votes? Jefferson or Cousins, that everyone looks at as the geeky white guy that he's just a so-so quarterback? You're probably going to get more votes for Jefferson.
Yeah. Cousins should probably start smoking some ayahuasca or something. Maybe that'd get him over the
edge. Yeah, something like that. But let's put our money together and get him a trip down to South America.
That's right.
There you go. Joey, how about you? Derrick Henry?
Ooh. I'm not going to go with a running back as much as I love them, and I think that Derrick Henry is the sexiest man on the planet. No, I'm going to go with the dark horse, and I think that is going to be my Super Bowl pick again this year, like it was last year. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. I think he's going to light up the AFC West and have a hell of a fucking year.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, he's got solid receivers around. I always love that Keenan Allen. He's always had solid years around him. Who else? Yep.
Mike Williams had a big year last year.
That was the other one I would say, because I know they were talking about him in practice because they were talking to the young DBs. I think it was in Hard Knocks or whatever show it was. Mm-hmm. But it's like, hey, you're going to be tested. You think it's going to be practice? You got 2 $20 million receivers over here. We're going to find out real quick how you're talking shit about how good you were in college. You're going to find out real quick how good you actually are or not. So
Right.
No,
And I think my second pick would have been Josh Allen. His receiving core has kind of been piecemealed together the last couple of years. And we were talking about Kittle being injured so much. I don't trust Diggs to stay healthy all year. I don't trust the other receivers he's got to just keep being consistent for him. I think he's going to put up monster numbers, but I think he falls short just a little bit because of his receiving core.
How do you feel about your favorite position on their team, Dawson Knox?
It's a hell of a fucking cool name. I also feel bad that his brother just died not too long ago, so that really sucks. But yeah, Dawson Knox I think is a great tight end. Yeah, he's not in the realm of George Kittle, but he's good. So
I would say
You have to add a fifth column up here, I see.
right.
That's where I was kind of leaning towards Josh Allen for an MVP as well, just because if you have a Diggs that goes down and you know the Bills are going to be solid this year, who gets the praise anytime a team is good? It's going to be that quarterback. So I mean, like I said, it's a bit of a popularity contest. It's a bit of a the storyline. They're going to go from 13 seconds to 13 wins. Josh Allen carried them. They want that storyline. They're going to try and make Josh Allen the MVP, even though his best season is worse than Mahomes' worst season. So, anything on that, Joey?
I got nothing. I'm just smiling. I love how homery you are. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Just spitting facts.
I wasn't homer. I was spitting facts, but I also said Josh Allen will win the MVP undeservedly, but he'll win.
Exactly.
What about Super Bowls? Who all got? We gonna make Super Bowl picks? We started off season 1. We all picked Super Bowl teams. We doing that here?
I think we're gonna have 4 people say the Chiefs and Vikings. Joey, who do you got? I'm just kidding.
Man, before the pod, I can go first. Before the pod started, I said it was going to be a yacht club series. It's going to be the the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Miami Dolphins. And fuck, I just don't trust Tua. I do think the Bucs are going to come out of the NFC, unfortunately, with fucking Brady and everyone else. But I really think it's going to be someone out of that AFC West, and I think the Chargers just make that leap this year. I think the Chiefs are going to be right up there too. I think that whole entire division could make the fucking playoffs. I don't know if they will, but goddamn, that AFC West is good. So I'm going to go Chargers and Bucs.
Nice. I would say when you have to when the 4 quarterbacks are all in the top 8. In NFL, you know it's going to be fucking tough. I mean, that's the sad thing is you look at every single team. You could look at they could feasibly win this division. Every single team could lose that division. I mean, it's going to be hell on me and Clark, but it's going to be every week is going to be a roller coaster ride with how close it's going to be. I think they're just going to beat the shit out of each other all year.
Besides the Vikings season, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to most this year is watching that AFC West. It could suck because you and Clark could be in, terrible moods. Some of these pods, we'll see. I may have to tiptoe around you guys, but from the outside, it's going to be a lot of fun.
When have we ever been in a bad mood in this pod when you bring up that Joe Burrow luckily threw it up to Jamar Chase on the sideline? He somehow landed 1 foot in again. I mean, we've never been in a bad mood about that stuff.
Say the first 6 weeks last year and the AFC Championship week last year. But other than that, no.
Other than that,
I'm an LSU graduate, and I can't be happy that Joe Burrow is successful in the NFL because it might hurt you guys.
Nope. Every time something positive about Joe Burrow said, it was like, yeah, but Alan Lazard. That every week for the Iowa State fans, we just have to throw in the one somewhat relevant player. But Trent, how about you? Who do you got here?
AFC. The Bills will represent the AFC this year.
Nice.
The NFC was a little tougher for me. I didn't want to go homer and say the Vikings, but I have money on the Vikings to make the playoffs. I think their offense will be a lot better this year. And then Tampa Bay, I was going to say them. That's boring. LA, they won last year. They're not going back to back. So, you know what? Why not the Vikings? Why not?
Just
It's
curious,
their
real
time.
quick, what were the odds for them to make the playoffs, or did you mean make the Super Bowl?
I bet on them to make the playoffs. So I bet not to make the playoffs. I bet on them to win the NFC North.
Okay.
I think it
what
was
was-
plus 575.
Okay, that's not bad at all, considering
No.
I mean, no offense, the Packers have dominated that league for
The
chunk of
Packers are like
years.
plus. The Packers are like plus 250, and
Yeah.
the Lions and Bears were both like 25-1 or something like that.
Shows the respect they have for Kirk and bringing in that new staff and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
So sorry, I'm gonna be a homer here, and that's what I'm going with.
That's right. Clark, who do you got out of the NFC?
That was my big question. I actually wrote down several teams here, so I'm going to be kind of picking out of those on the spot. I'm going to talk through them. Obviously, the AFC is going to be the Chiefs,
Yep.
best team out of the best division in the NFL, the AFC West.
Yep.
I honestly think the Chiefs are going to be riding that offensive line. I think they've got the best offensive line in football if they stay healthy. So
Okay.
that's what I'm riding on, their offensive line. Not on Mahomes, that offensive line. So NFC, I wrote down a few teams. NFC East contender, the Eagles. The
Okay.
NFC North, the only team I think has a chance are the Vikings.
Mhm.
Actually, out of the South, I've got two teams. And I wrote down one just because I love Baker Mayfield. I think the Panthers could be, I think they'll be
Okay.
on the edge of contending, probably make the play. I don't know if they'll be my Super Bowl team, but I just wanted to make note of that. Bucks,
Mhm.
you never count out Tom Brady ever,
Mhm.
but his offensive line took a beating already in the preseason. I think it's going to be hard for them to get to that midway point and see where they're at before I really consider them. And then the NFC West, man, I got the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals I think can all contend over there.
Mhm.
So I got to pick one of these. 49ers. I'm going with 49ers and the Chiefs in a repeat in the Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Love it.
God, that would kind of be my
Nice.
It's going to
nightmare.
be Jimmy
leaving.
G. Like Trey Lance are
I'm
going to
outta
change
here.
quarterbacks and go to Jimmy G. That's what's going to happen.
I'm writing them down, Ryan.
This is Jimmy G's redemption year. He's going to lose in the Super Bowl, but he's going to get him there.
Yeah, well, like we said, the Brock Purdy prop of over half of a game starting. I'm putting that bet in. Jimmy G's gonna get injured or some shit's gonna happen. Trey Lance is gonna wash out, and they're gonna go, let's give this guy a shot, and he's just gonna fucking gunsling him to the Super Bowl, man.
I read that if Jimmy G wouldn't have taken that pay cut or whatever it was, like he wouldn't have accepted that deal, Brock Purdy
Yeah.
was going to be their backup. He was going to be their second string quarterback this year.
That if you're the Niners, in all seriousness, how terrifying would that be? Okay, we have an unproven Trey Lance, and Mr. Irrelevant is our backup. You just bring in Josh. Is it Josh Jackson or Josh Johnson, the guy that's been on 14 teams?
I don't know.
It someone, anyone? Okay, never mind. There is. He just got cut. It was Josh Johnson. He's been on like 14 NFL teams. He was in the AAF. He was in the AFL. I mean, he was in fucking every single league. So
Bring
darn
in
it,
Fitzmagic. Come on now.
yeah, Fitzmagic would have.
Has he played for the 49ers yet? He might add one more. Who knows?
Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Titans. Where else has he been?
Everywhere.
I don't.
Half the league.
I legitimately don't think he has. So fuck it. You're going to the East Coast, dude.
Yep.
Ryan, what do you think?
The Pendleton has me going bold. We're going Jets and Bears this year. No,
The
No.
Super Bowl. The Super
Brees
Bowl.
Hall leading the Jets to the
Brees
Super Bowl
Hall,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
pick.
Yeah, two Iowa State running backs.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with Trent. I'm gonna go with Bills and Vikings. That's kind of who I've been thinking all preseason, to be honest with you. I think I would like to say the Chiefs just because I love what Patrick Mahomes does. Outside of Kirk, he's my favorite quarterback in the NFL.
Mhm.
But that AFC West is so tough. They're going to beat up on each other. I just don't know if anyone's going to come out of there and be ready to go to the Super Bowl because I think they're just going to beat up on each other. Cincinnati, I feel like they caught lightning in a bottle last year. I don't think they're going to repeat that again.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Bills there, and then with the Vikings, I don't know. There's just been so much hype this preseason. Just so many things that are looking good. We were talking earlier. KJ Osborne is looking just as good, having days that he looks just as good as Justin Jefferson. I think our offense is going to be a rival greatest show on turf. To be honest, it's going to be amazing. I think so. I don't know a whole lot about Donatel, what his defense will be like going to the 3-4. What I do know is if we have two healthy people, Daniil Hunter and Zadarius Smith, I think that is going to be the nastiest defensive line you'll see in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going to go with the homer pick with the Vikings. We're going to go. I think these are the two teams that have been to the Super Bowl 4 times and have lost every time. So I think one of them is finally going to get one.
Yeah, between the two, we're 0-8.
Yeah. That's. So I think it's going to be broken this year.
Ended a
The
tie.
one thing that concerns me about the Bills is Brian Dabble being gone. I don't know who their OC is, I guess, this year.
Mhm.
So that's like my one concern. But I think they're just too damn good.
I think I'm looking at BetMGM. They're 7th on the list out of the NFC behind the Bucks, Rams, Packers, Niners, Cowboys, Eagles, and Cardinals for odds.
For the Vikes?
Well, the Cardinals will be awesome for 8 games out of the year. Then Call of Duty will come out. And
I'm sorry, but when you made the greatest show on turf reference, my eyes immediately went to Clark.
why? Oh, because
And your face was priceless.
no, I think we're gonna have 3 amazing wide receivers. I think our tight. I think Osborne thinks gonna be awesome. Yeah, you have Dalvin Cook. He's gonna be everywhere. Irv Smith, if he stays healthy, he looks like he could be one of the most athletic tight ends in the league. So
Does Dalvin Cook know what to do with his hands now?
I think you're thinking Adrian
Other
Peterson.
than this, like, does he know how to do this, or is it just this?
No, he can do it all. I think you're thinking Adrian Peterson, who he could run people over, but he couldn't block or catch a ball.
Adrian Peterson, the human battering ram.
Adrian Peterson, it was like
his son
every
says that too.
Adrian Peterson, every NFL broadcast, he's got the strongest hands. If you shake his hand, it almost crushes you. 35 seconds later, he fumbles every time.
Yeah. Isn't he? He's doing boxing now, isn't he? Against who was
children?
the old? Yeah. No, the running back for Pittsburgh that tried to do a rap career and stuff.
Le'Veon
Bell. Yeah, I think they're doing a boxing match.
I'm
Love
trying
that
to think,
that's
like,
his claim to fame. He's doing rap now.
to put some respect on his name. I used to be lazy in college and sleep in quite a bit. You don't know how many times I would wake up right before kickoff. You're kind of like getting the Sandman out of your eyes after a long night of drinking. You open up your fantasy football app, and Adrian Peterson already has, I think it was, what would it be, 13.5 points, because he got the 6 points for the touchdown and the 75 yards to rush. It was a season where it's seriously like 6 times in a row. The first rush was that fucking touchdown all the way after a touchback. So I'll put some respect on his name after we bash him a little bit, just like Adrian Peterson Jr. So,
well, the nice thing, it was crazy because that's when with the whole Christian Ponder thing, that experiment that we had. We could have at least had Andy Dalton. We drafted Christian Ponder before Andy Dalton. Now, so Adrian Peterson had to be all of the offense the Vikings had. It was, people want to get rid of Kirk, but they don't remember the days of Christian Ponder.
They all remember Sam Ponder.
Yeah, everyone remembers Sam Ponder.
Remember when the Vikings were like, what should we complement this super fast running back with? Let's get the slowest, biggest, widest running back in Toby Gerhart, and these two are going to be like thunder and lightning, except they're both thunder. It was just I was looking at the other day. It is actually a travesty that Mark Ingram won a Heisman over Toby Gerhart. If you actually look at their stats, it was a name of a Southeast team compared to the Pac-12, which no one watches. But that is besides the point.
No Stanford running back ever should win the Heisman. I'm just putting it out there.
Too smart.
Fuck you, Christian
what?
McCaffrey.
I was going to say, not even Christian McCaffrey.
Even one
Fuck
that
that guy.
rushes for 1,000 yards in the Rose Bowl.
Yes. That dude got me so drunk. God damn it.
Remember how mad it was probably Iowa fans, but like Iowans in general, when it was like, not only Stanford was just kicking the shit out of them, but it's like, then at halftime they played Farmers Only because they're playing Iowa. I'm like, that's fucking funny. If there's a funny song to make fun of California, I would be playing it, and that'd be hilarious. That's the fun of college football, man.
Bryant remembers how drunk I was going to Applebee's after the first half.
Wow.
God.
I'm surprised you remembered what restaurant we were at, dude. But.
I barely do. It's been a while, too.
Brian, have you made your picks yet?
Honestly, I was trying to stall because I can't think of who I want in the NFC, and I'm trying to think of like matchups on who I want in like the championship games. I mean, obviously Homer, I gotta go Chiefs. I just think right now I don't know enough about the Chargers defense. I know they picked up some pieces of Khalil Mack and they got Bosa, but I got to see them healthy for a full season before I commit to the Chargers actually making the playoffs. I mean, I've just seen them too often in the AFC West just piss it down their leg. They had the 2013 year where they had the number one offense and defense and didn't miss playoffs. So I mean, I've just seen them historically choke. So I mean, I can't choose the Chargers. I mean, I'm gonna go Homer. I got to go Chiefs over Bills. Yeah.
I've got a question. Is there an over/under out there for how many fourth downs the Chargers will convert after Coach Staley decides to go for it?
I have not looked into that prop just yet.
Wasn't it against the Chiefs last year? They went for like 3 times and got stopped like all 3 times, I think, on fourth down or something like that.
Oh, my God. I think it might have been a movie. If that was that Thursday night game, I'm pretty sure I was at a movie that night. I can't remember which one, to be honest.
Yeah. He's notorious for going for it. So I'm curious if it's going to be like, yeah, we're not even going to keep a punter on our team. We're just going for it.
Fuck it. We're going fourth down every time. So I think it'll be I think it'll be Chiefs over Bills. I think it will be at Bills. I think they're going to get the 1 seed this year. I don't know, between them being in the AFC East, us being the AFC West, and just, you know, they got Josh Allen. He has proven how good he is.
They get to play the Jets twice.
Yeah, exactly. They get to play Tua a couple times to see him underthrow Tyreek. That's got to be always fun. And then I don't know. I didn't see too much out of Mac Jones. He got into shape this offseason. I really don't know how much the Patriots are going to be improved without, you know, Belichick minus Tom Brady. So I think I'll have the Chiefs over the Bills. I mean, I'm kind of going back and forth in the NFC still. Fuck. You know what? I'm going to say, because that clause caused so much embarrassment, it's going to be the Cardinals out of the NFC. I think Kyler Murray. He actually. You guys hear about how they made him, play calling so easy, then you do it, and so they had Kyler start playing out. All of a sudden, they started scoring some fucking points in that offense in the preseason. I don't know. I kind of enjoy that, you know. And then, of course, it'll be super nice having to play a quarterback in the Super Bowl that's only 5'8", so you can just swat down every pass if you're over 6 feet tall on defense. So it should be a fun time.
So, can someone tell me why the Dolphins are so hyped up this season? First off, was there anything more sad than watching Miami fans just be so happy about a highlight play where Tua completely underthrew Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill had to completely adjust his route to go get the ball?
I can give you a reason, but I'm not sure it's real founded, and that's just publicity. The move of Tyreek to Miami is high profile. It caught a lot of ears, and then he's been so outspoken about Tua's better than Mahomes. Like, dude, lay off the cocaine, all right? Like, take it easy.
Their
So-
new coach is Mike McDaniel or whatever. He seems like a
Yep.
pretty cool dude.
Hmm.
But even he
And he's
said
from-
Tua is the most accurate quarterback I've ever been around. Well, again, maybe he's accurate within 20 yards, but that pass to Tyreek, that was terrible.
Yeah. I think the speed combined with him being from the Shanahan coaching tree, I think that's why people are hyped. And if
Yeah,
you think about it, other than what's that?
They have Waddle. They've got good receivers.
That's what I'm saying. The speed combined with him being from the Shanahan coaching tree, I mean, they're gonna be good on offense. I mean, and they got
How's the
Mostert
defense gonna
from
be?
San
Will they be
Francisco.
able to stop anybody?
Yeah, that's a question. I don't know. I mean,
Their
does anyone stop
defense is
anyone
what
in the NFL really?
The
Dolphins'
question
defense is what kept them in all their games last year.
so they have speed, but is their speed going to outrun Tua's throws?
Well, see, and that's the question.
Speed's awesome if your quarterback can't get, unless your quarterback can't get the ball to you.
Will your offensive line give you time for him to get to a position where you can utilize that wide receiver too?
Yep, that is the biggest question they have surrounding them is that offensive line. So
I don't know if I believe the whole arm strength thing. Like he can't throw a deep ball. It's like you're a quarterback in the NFL. You can throw a football.
I was listening to Mad Dog Sports last week, and they were talking about, I don't remember what show it was just on whatever Mad Dog channel is, and they were talking about the preseason game, Miami against Philadelphia. It was the training camps, the combined training camps. They were together, and they had, you have both Hurts and Tua who somewhat suffer from the same issue. And they're like, when the conditions were perfect, the balls were right on the money from 0 to 20 yards. But you get a little breeze in their face, and things were just not good. So they just don't have power to go through wind, to go distance. I don't know. That's why, I said that with Jalen Reagor going to the Vikings, Jalen has an actual quarterback that can throw you a deep ball. Jalen's super fast. Now, does he have stone hands like Troy Williamson did back in the early 2000s? It's possible. But, I think he'll actually get a chance to prove that maybe he was a first-round pick.
yep, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, just answering your question, it was just the hype of the speed and the new coaching staff, basically.
And I love Mike McDaniel. He seems like an awesome coach.
Mhm. I think it'll probably just be another year. I mean, he's got the pieces where the offense will probably be flashy, but again, it'll probably be another year or so. And again, they still got to go through Buffalo. I mean, I think everyone realizes how good they are, but I don't think they're to the point where they're even overhyped either. I think it's just the realistic they are that good. So
Those late season, I don't know what their schedule's like. I haven't looked. Do they have to go to New England and Buffalo late in the season? Because that could be treacherous.
are we
Right.
looking up? You're talking about Miami's schedule?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right
I mean,
now. Hold on.
that they don't not only have to go through Buffalo, but I mean, the Patriots are going to get better. What the fuck's their quarterback name? We just said it.
They don't.
Mac
Mac Jones. They don't even know who their
Yeah,
offensive coordinator is yet, do they?
Who's
So
that?
Who their offensive play calling?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because I know Belichick's been calling it. Some of it has been what's his name, that coach in Detroit. And one
And
other
they have to
guy.
go through
They haven't decided who their play caller is yet.
And they also have to go through the MILF hunter, Zach Wilson. So, I mean, that's going to be a big challenge all on its own.
Have the Jets? I know the Jets had a really good draft. Are they showing any promise this year?
I don't know if anyone's actually checked in on the Jets. They could be the biggest surprise ever.
They're really good.
So,
two of
looking
the
at
last. Sorry, yeah, I was looking at that too. 2 of their last 4 games are at the Bills, at the Patriots. So
That's tough.
But I mean, even look at around their schedule. You got at Patriots, Bills, like you said. We got the Packers week 16, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But at Chargers, they got to play the Browns once Deshaun's back. Early in the season, they're at Bengals. They got Bills early in the year as well. I mean, and Ravens. I mean, they got a pretty fucking tough schedule, to say the least.
I mean, and don't forget about those Lions. If anyone's been paying attention to Hard Knocks, man, they're going to be like a Super Bowl contender this year, just based on what I've seen on Hard Knocks.
Watch out, Vikings! Here come the
Yeah.
Lions.
That's right.
All right.
I think
Well,
it's who are they playing week 1? They're playing they're playing Philadelphia, I think, and I think Philadelphia is only like a 4-point favorite. Where it's like that hard knocks hype is that's real.
How many games
It
last year did
is.
the Lions lose on last second field goals though too? Like they were
Not as many as the Vikings.
on the edge.
Less than Nebraska.
the Vikings lost a game to the Lions on a last second field goal last year.
Yeah, last second touchdown.
It was when they lost to Baltimore on the now world record longest field goal ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
I wouldn't say I went on that whole rant last year. I think we all got deeply hurt last year on last second field goals that affected your season. So, I'm not going to make fun of anyone after how crushed I was. Fuck you, Texas Tech. Actually,
there's no way this guy's going to make a 63-yard field goal, and he makes it. Would have been good from 70.
To be honest, Trent, when they lined up, you knew that was going in, right? I sure as shit knew it was going in.
Dude who had a terrible game. He had a broken arm, for God's sakes. He goes out there and boots a 63-yarder.
Good thing you ain't got to kick with your arm.
That's true.
I say he only made it because that broken arm. Did he have a cast on? Because if he did, that extra weight really threw his body into the kick, and I think that's how it happened.
I was gonna say, do you think limbs are like senses? If you lose one, it makes your other ones better. Like, I don't think that happens.
Well, I just watched a documentary on cats for an hour earlier today, and I think it gave him some counterbalance that really flipped his body into it. And it was talking about how cats land on their feet all the time. They always know what way up is. So
this is why we can't have a TV podcast.
But kicking a football, that's what.
Lord.
Oh, God, we're just derailing quick. Do you guys got any more hot takes on anything? I know we got their MVP and Super Bowls. What is the most outlandish take that it doesn't even have to be about anything positive? What's the most outlandish thing you can think of?
Deshaun Watson doesn't win a game.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers plays in 6 games high.
But you have to prove it too. He has to go through that.
It's not a banned substance, so.
Remember that interview where he was basically on Percocet, and there was like, "Hey, so," and he was just that was the happiest you've ever seen Aaron Rodgers at any time in his life. He was just floating on cloud 9.
That was the Bears game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when he was on Joe Rogan, he's like, "Yeah, I played a game on a Percocet, and looking back, that wasn't the best idea ever." It's like we know, Aaron, we know which game you're talking about.
And here's Josh Gordon going, "This motherfucker is admitting all these drugs. I smoke a little bit of the reefer, and I can't get a job again."
And also, Aaron Rodgers' which girlfriend will cast spells on 3 teams this year?
Ooh, oh man, I want that so because it could even just be a Twitter rumor. What's her name? Not Blue Ivy. That's
Blue of Earth.
Blue of Earth. If it comes out Blue of Earth curses the Vikings, both of you will agree that she's a witch and the curse is real, though.
Joke's on her. There's already a curse on us. It's called the kicking curse.
Was it like Double Jeopardy? You can't curse a curse and it just unflips it?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are we gonna do? Miss last second field goals to go to the Super Bowl?
You're gonna double doink, but it's in. You just have that. You still get the heart attack of a missed field goal, but you do win. So
yeah.
Joey, what's your hottest take?
The winner of the NFC East has 8 wins. They go 8-9, losing record.
Under 500. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a safe bet, though. That happens almost every year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that division sucks.
Yeah. And they're just going to get beat up on by everyone else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You said NFC East, right?
Yep.
The Cowboys only have 1 quarterback right now, too.
What? They only
they dropped Cooper Rush. So they just have
didn't he miss part of the season last year for injury?
I don't know. But yeah, Dak. No. Yeah, so they've just got Dak.
Do they have a left tackle yet?
Yeah, I don't
No.
know.
Oh, and they're missing Trevor. What's the really good guard they have? He's out for the season. That sucks too. Oh well.
I would
Trucking
say so.
Cowboys.
It's just Dak Prescott. They don't have Ben DiNucci or anything.
No, they've literally just have one quarterback right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Dak wasn't injured half the year, and I know that because I had him on my fantasy team for sure. So it's a good thing they don't have back. They're just, honestly, get the money that you're paying Ezekiel Elliott. Just fucking wildcat it the whole fucking time.
Yes.
Are you writing down these bold predictions there, Bryant, or
No,
somebody in the
just
spreadsheet?
bullshit in here.
They're recording them anytime.
All right.
Let me think. The longest, I think the longest field goal in NFL history is 63 or 4 yards, isn't it?
63, I think.
63. We see an NFL record 65-yard plus field goal this year. That'll be my hot take. I've been seeing any of them where it's like that was good from 70. Everyone's seen all these kicks that were good from 70. They're going to start to. They're not going to be stupid. If you remember when Lane Kiffin tried to kick that 76-yard field goal with Sebastian Janikowski, and say it's not going to be that extreme. But I think there's people that are going to go fuck it. 68 yards. They've seen him make them in practices all the time. I think that's going to be my hot take is 65+ yard field goal for the NFL record.
I like it.
Mine, I guess I don't have anything too crazy, but Breece Hall wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Fuck yeah. I mean, that's a guarantee, so it's not really a hot take.
Hold
on.
What about Brock Purdy?
Go and say that would be more bold, yes. And hey, I said it. Brock Purdy's going to be starting for the 49ers by week 9.
And he's going to lose that Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes.
The worst. Joey's ready to shoot himself.
I'm going to get a half Mahomes, half Purdy jersey and wear it like AJ Hawk's sister in that Fiesta Bowl.
You can't be pissed off at us for doing this about Brock Purdy, Joey, because you're over here slobbing on Hawkinson's knob every fucking podcast.
Because he's a starter. You're talking about a third string guy behind two former starters in the NFL. Like, yeah.
I am, speaking of third stringers, I am feeling good about the Chiefs step that running back not only got having Ronald Jones, but also have that Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. The kid from Rutgers. I'm feeling pretty good about those two. But also the longest field goal in NFL history is 66 yards, so it'll be a 67-yard plus field goal this year.
When did the 66 happen?
Last year.
Justin Tucker on August. Oh, that's
supposed to be the Lions, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting it pulled up right now. Hopefully, it's not one of those sites that has an ad that auto plays super loud. Are you watching porno by yourself? Yes, of course. Who else would be here?
Who else would be here?
It's like, yeah, my neighbors can hear it through the wall, but other than that, yes, I am.
2021 Ravens beat the Lions, all right. So,
I guess I didn't realize it was 66.
Before we spin any more, talk about the hub. Okay. Yep. So, any final thoughts on this season other than we are finally excited to talk about some real football?
Nope. Just excited for it.
Wow. Okay.
Ready for week 1 to roll around.
One more week. Yeah. One more week.
This time of year is bittersweet. You got football season starting, which is exciting, but that means summer's over and golf season's basically over. But man, I'm excited.
Yeah. First season without John Madden. That's sad too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joey, for ending the pod on a high note.
pour one out for John Madden.
Are they all do? I think I heard the Raiders are doing a sticker on their helmet this year. Is there anyone else that's doing anything for them?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Did anyone get Ryan? Didn't you get Madden?
I did, yeah.
Is it any better than years past, or is it still kind of?
Well, the last one I bought was 2017, so compared to that, it's pretty awesome. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm really liking it.
Alrighty.
Sweet.
Well, I might think about getting it. I don't know. I just haven't bought it in a decade, and I'm just waiting for NCAA football, to be honest.
I did the mode. What is it? I can't remember what it's called, but when you create your own player and put them through their career and stuff like that. Played one season with him. He was the quarterback for the Vikings and lost in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs.
Woo woo!
We'll do it. So, alrighty. Well, I would say let's wrap it up here. I would say we'll have plenty of talk on next week. Joey, you want to hit us with those socials again, real quick?
Yep. As always, Twitter and Instagram at Heartland Pulse. Look us up on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Pulse of the Heartland. Like and subscribe all our videos on YouTube. We've kind of revamped everything, made it a little prettier, and added a couple.
Thank you,
playlists.
Joey.
You're welcome. I wasn't tooting my own horn, so. But yeah, we'll have these podcasts out hopefully next day, as long as all the internet connections go well, and then we're on for next Monday night, Ryan. Right? Starting our NFL schedule. Cool.
Yeah, I would assume probably close to the same time, if that works for everyone.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd say since we won't be doing multiple
I gotta
recordings.
ask. Joey mentioned about tooting his own horn. Is that a Pornhub category?
It's
Nope. Nothing I've seen.
very niche. But I'll just look up tooting your own horn, and I'll just screenshot the results for you guys. I'll send you that.
Oh,
Nope.
jeez. Why don't you just screen share on this right now?
Yeah, let's just cancel this pod right at the beginning of season 2.
I'm on my work computer, so I'm out. Bye.
This account is now banned.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, we do appreciate everyone that joined in. I know Jacob was jumping in here, so we do appreciate you guys hopping in. But otherwise, yeah, make sure if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing, liking everything. We got our socials at the bottom, like Joey said. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to try to be on a more strict schedule so that you guys can plan to join in with us. But yeah, I would say I think it's going to be a fun season 2. So appreciate you all joining in.